Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the M4 and my favorite loadout for it. In my most recent loadout video, Carlos requested this one, so that's why I ended up making this video. If you have a weapon that you want to see featured in one of my videos, leave it as a comment down below in this one, and maybe that'll be what my next video is. Also, if you guys find this helpful or informative, please do remember to give it a like and subscribe for more Warzone content. So the M4 is like the most general, basic, versatile assault rifle in Warzone, and it was actually one of the most popular weapons in the game, and still is to this day, but it was the weapon when Warzone initially released. However, since then, the Growl took over, and then after that, the Bruin, and then once the Bruin got nerfed, it seemed like a lot of people gravitated towards the Kilo, or maybe even just stuck with the Bruin after the nerfs. So the M4 has kind of been ignored recently, but it's not like it really got nerfed. It did at one point, but it didn't get nerfed into the ground by any means. It's just that other weapons took over and people forgot about the M4 as the meta shifted over time. But the M4 is still an incredibly useful weapon, an incredibly effective weapon in Warzone, and it might be my favorite weapon in the game right now. I had a lot of fun playing with it to get the gameplay for this video. And what I like to run on the M4 is Monolithic Suppressor, the M16 barrel, Commando foregrip, 50 round mags, and then the last attachment I change out sometimes. If I'm going to use iron sights, I use tac laser as the last attachment, but sometimes I take off tac laser and put on one of the holographic sights. You could even put on VLK if you want, but I typically tend to stick with the holographic or the iron sights. So the last attachment is either a tac laser or a holographic sight, just depending on which one I feel like using at the time. Recently, I've been comboing this with the Origin 12 because that's also one of the best weapons in the game, and the Origin is really good at getting rid of campers, and since I mostly play solos, there's a lot of campers with Origins, so if you don't have an Origin to kill them, you're probably going to die to their Origin, and the Origin has just like taken over Warzone, and it is definitely a really annoying weapon, but that's why I end up using it. If I'm going to be using the M4 over other assault rifles, it's typically because I want to play really aggressive, because at long range, the M4 will definitely lose out to something like the Kilo, the Growl, or even the M13. At extreme ranges, these weapons are much better than the M4 because they're extremely accurate. The M4 doesn't have the most recoil in the game by any means, but it definitely has more recoil than a lot of these other assault rifles that are known for their accuracy. And since I'm going to be using iron sights on it a majority of the time, I definitely end up losing out to those assault rifles at long range. This is more for medium range, like dominance, and that's where it excels. I feel much more confident taking a fight with the M4 than I do something like the Kilo. The Kilo is insane, but if I have to like jump out from my cover and gun somebody, I just have so much more confidence in the M4 than it. I don't really know how to describe it, but the M4 is a very fun and a very effective weapon to take gunfights with, and that's what I like doing with this loadout. Like I said before, I'm going to be playing extremely aggressive with this loadout. That's how I tend to play when I have the M4. It's also really good if you combo the M4 with snipers because it is extremely versatile. If you have something like a sniper, which is really good at long range but suffers at every other range, comboing it with something like the M4, which excels at like pretty much every range, even at extremely long range, the M4 is serviceable. Up close, it's going to lose out to like the Origin or other subs, but it is definitely usable up close. The M4 really pairs well with a sniper rifle, so if you want to snipe, I would recommend using the M4 or something like the Ram, but this M4 loadout is easier to use than the Ram in my opinion. So yeah, I really like the M4. It's one of my favorite weapons to use in the game. It's really good for playing aggressive. It's not really bad at anything. It's decent at everything. Like if you were to rate this out of 10 at like different ranges, I feel like it's never worse than like a 7. Like it's solid at literally everything in the game. And that's what makes it so fun to use. And that's what makes it like good to play aggressive with, because it doesn't matter like what situation you're in. The M4 can definitely like fight that situation. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to let the gameplay play out, showing some gameplay of the M4 and a recent win that I got with it. If you want to see a weapon featured in a video, comment that down below and you might end up in the next video. Also, remember to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and thanks for watching. Why is that man just running, dude? You're so annoying. I'm getting sniped at from somewhere too. You better not get my car, dude. I don't want to have to damage the car. That's the guy who killed me before. I love not having aim assist. Isn't it lovely that defenses exist and then remove my aim assist?
Bounty target is down.
Yep.
You're losing ground.
Dude, how did that man always know where I was? And when that texture bug was in the game, they announced that they were fixing it beforehand. Which might not matter to everyone, but it's just nice being acknowledged, you know?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Like when there was a bug in Fortnite, we were just stuck like throwing complaints into the ether and hoping that they eventually fixed it or something.
10 remain. You're nearly done. Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Whereas like when the texture bug was in this game, I'm dead here. I wasn't paying attention to the game at all, to be honest there. Like they announced a few days ahead of time, like we know this isn't the game, we're working on a fix. And that's just like, I don't know. Makes it so nice, because when they don't acknowledge you, you don't even know if like they are aware, you know? This guy's probably horrible at the game. It took him way too long to kill me. And he didn't push me to get that thirst.
You're losing ground.
I'm hopeful for Cold
Gas
War
is closing.
because if
Get
it's
to the new safe
good
zone.
MP-wise and BR-wise, then like that's... could be really good. Definitely just heard some footsteps.
Gas is inbound. Enemy UAV overhead.
Gotta be like coming this way. That wasn't the same guy that's down. Might have killed him though. There's actually a lot of people left in this fight zone.
Safe zone relocated.
I have early rotates, but there's
Only
no
5
cover.
remain. Finish your mission.
I don't even know if I want to early
Gas
rotate.
is moving. Gas is closing. Get
How
to
is
the
he
new
not
safe
dead?
zone. Gas is closing in. Enemy UAV overhead.
That guy behind me self-res.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. That is a win.
GG's, bro. God, the M4 was insane there. I don't win that with the Kilo.